I had way too much fun playing my greedy 5-color whir list and decided to run it back with some small improvements. Let's see how that goes. So I had such a fun time playing that greed pile from yesterday that I wanted to run it back. I made a couple of very small changes to hopefully shore up some weaknesses of the previous list. I got a bit of feedback from MTGO, who is the resident whir expert for Lantern Control, that I should probably be running Assassin's Trophy in the main. I haven't entirely taken his advice, but I have changed that portable hole to a Perilous Snare. It's a relatively new card that is an Oblivion Ring for artifacts, so it can be tutored by Whir of Invention. This might raise the curve a little bit, I don't know. We're gonna have to try it out today and see what happens. But this is more or less the same list that I had last time. I got rid of the Magus of the Moon in the sideboard. I could have replaced them with Harbinger of the Seas to turn all of my lands into islands so I could still cast Whir of Invention. I elected not to do that. I just added a smattering of other cards in the sideboard instead. I've got Spellskite, I've got the Stone Brain, and I have a second portable hole in the sideboard as well. Let's see how this goes. I'll go ahead and get a league started right away. We have started round 1 versus Rio Estrad 1980. What? We've started our round against a weeb, I think. I think I will keep this hand. It only needs 1 blue source in order to really pop off, and it's got the Inquisition to help out with the beginning turns. Looks like we're getting Thoughtseized here. Looks like my opponent has Thoughtseized my Inquisition. That's interesting. And I just top deck the Mox Opal, huh? What do I want to do with this Mox Opal? I think I'm just going to play Fire and Jar, and I think I'm just going to pass turn. I don't think that my opponent is going to be playing Chalice on 0 anytime soon. Okay, I drew another Welding Jar. This means that I could hold open Whir of Invention if I wanted to instead of creating constructs. But Urza Saga is uncounterable. I think I will actually start getting that ticked up. Oh, they're playing Esper. They're playing Esper, everybody. That is a Warped Quantum Riddler, and it looks like they have the Ephemerate to go with it. Okay, so I could start creating constructs here, but I think I might rather get a Lock Online. Do I want to Whir for 1 and get Lantern into play right now? I don't think that's really useful. I think I'm just going to hold my Whir and see what happens. They are choosing to Ephemerate their Riddler. I think I'm going to let it go. Is that a prismatic ending on Mox Opal? I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm just going to let that go. And that is a White Orchid Phantom, huh? Well, I'm glad I put a second basic in the deck, and they're evoking a Solitude. All right, so they're going to take me off my construct. And that is a lot of cards spent not actually answering what I'm doing here. I will play this Lantern of Insight. They have a Plains on top of their deck. I'm just going to pass turn here. All right, Plains in hand. Play it as their land for turn. That's a Witch Enchanter. They're going to attempt to destroy something here. I think in response to this, I will Whir. That is a Whir for 3. I'm gonna go grab my Ensnaring Bridge. And then I will sack a Welding Jar to protect my Lantern. All right. And we are in non-negligibly good shape here. My opponent has 1 card in hand that they don't know about, but I've got a Whir of Invention that I can use to go find a Millrock. There's a decent chance that I should just Whir for Perilous Snare here. Try and get that Quantum Riddler under control. I think I will actually do that. Where is that Perilous Snare? There it is. All right, let's go ahead and take that Quantum Riddler. Now they're not drawing multiple cards in a turn. I did that before they had Ephemerate up. They're going to draw Thoughtseize, and they've got nothing. Okay, well, let's make sure that that last card in hand is indeed nothing. It is nothing. All right, and next turn we're going to get 2 Millrocks because I'll have Whir up and I'll be able to pop this Urza Saga. And I think we'll actually be in good shape. Wow, I think this might be a game 1 against Blink. Pyxis number 1 and Pyxis number 2. And we're set. Wow, this feels amazing. That Perilous Snare coming in handy over the main board portable hole that I had before. Careful, hero. You're going to be triggering my speed. You don't want to know what happens when I get to maximum speed, do you? White Orchid Phantom. Yeah, I don't care about that. They're going to cast it immediately. I will actually search, and then I'll just shuffle. Found a Lantern on top of my deck. That's great. And I'm just chilling. There's nothing to do here, really. Going to grab some additional insurance for something that might slip through the lock. I think my opponent was a little bit aggressive with that prismatic ending earlier in the game. You know, they're not my cards. I can't tell them how to play them. They are somehow at 9, though. How'd that happen? Don't know. Just gonna boot that prismatic ending on top of their deck. And they currently don't have any 1-power creatures. I think I'll just hold this Thoughtseize. I'm not gonna hold this one, though. Actually, yeah, I'll hit them. I'm at a high enough life total to where I'm not really worried. I can continue to hold this Thoughtseize and cast it if necessary at a later turn. Maybe if we get into a draw war over an important card. Don't want you having that Quantum Riddler. Emperor of Bones can do what? You can bring back a Solitude. All right, that's fine. Having these 2 Pyxides in play makes Emperor of Bones a lot less scary. I'm just exiling all of their stuff. That Quantum Riddler, that's not in their graveyard. That's in exile. Oh, yeah. I guess they could do that, couldn't they? All right, that's fine. I have all these welding jars laying around. Just going for the Ensnaring Bridge. I'll regen it. Okay, I will actually exile now. And I'm not going to crack my Mishra's Bauble knowing that there's an Urza Saga on top of my deck. Yeah, I didn't want to draw that extra land. No to Overlord of the Baelmerk. No to Overlord of the Baelmerk again. I'm going to say no to Ephemerate here in a second. Yeah, I'll take a Fomori Vault. Glad that I kept that Shredder, that Thoughtseize in hand this whole time. I think I will actually fire off Shredder now. And I'm going to take that Ephemerate off the top of their deck. Flicker Wisp, huh? Yeah, no to Flicker Wisp. Thoughtseize is fine. They're going to Thoughtseize me here. They'll take my Thoughtseize. Okay, this is all perfectly fine. Felia's not actually harmful because it can't attack. Grab another Pyxis here. Suspend Profane Tutor. And we're good. I'm going to start milling them out now. I don't think they have that many outs. Emperor of Bones, I actually don't want them having right now. Aven Interrupter is fine, actually. Whatever. Felia's out of their hand. I'm just going to cast this. Not worried about it. And no Witch Enchanter for you today. Sorry, mate. Boggart Trawler is fine. I will cast this. It might get Aven Interrupted. Again, it doesn't really matter that much. And I think I'm going to find Pyxis number 4. And that's all my mill rocks in play, actually. Oops. Taking all the bad cards out of their deck, leaving them only with the good cards. I think I actually will hazard going a little bit deeper here. Yeah, okay. Just doesn't matter. And that was actually their last draw for the entire game. Because now I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to exile their library. Face down, even. The best type of exile. Okay, and we get game number 1 versus Esper Blink, of all things, actually. Wow, I was not expecting that. That Perilous Snare really came in handy. All right, so what is bad in this matchup? Grafdigger's Cage is pretty bad. The Underworld Cookbook is pretty bad. What is good in this matchup? Portable Hole, not so much. Duskrow's Reliquary, I think I want that. I think I also want Torpor Orb. Torpor Orb shuts off a lot of stuff. But I think that I could make even more cuts here. Pithing Needles, I think I'm okay with taking out of the deck. And I think I will actually replace them with a Spellskite and possibly even a Stonebrain. Or I could keep those cards in my sideboard and I could just bring in 2 Assassin's Trophies. Maybe even 3 Assassin's Trophies. In expectation of encountering Clarion Conqueror. It would also get rid of Quantum Riddler. I think I'm okay with that. If I'm going to be worrying for Torpor Orb, then I don't think that Spellskite is going to be particularly useful. Except against maybe like exactly Prismatic Ending. What am I taking out though? What is bad in this matchup? Welding Jars are useful. Mishra's Baubles are kind of useful. I guess I could side out a single Mishra's Bauble. Okay, I'll keep it. It's just an experiment. I'm not really sure how sideboarding is going to work. My sideboard might not even be built correctly, honestly. This is a nope. Can't keep this. This is a ugh. But I am going to keep it. I think I'm going to actually bottom the Fomori Vault. Yeah, I'll bottom the Fomori Vault. Looks like they're thought seizing me on the first turn. That's a good play. They could take the welding jar and shut off my black source. They chose not to, though. That's a Mox Opal. That's interesting. I don't think I'm going to expose that. Although if they blow it up, I guess it's not that bad. But, like, it's a 0 drop. It doesn't really matter that much. I could have put Urza Saga down on turn 1. I considered doing that. All right, Overlord of the Baelmerk is going to come down. And really the only hit they've got out of there is Felia. So that's in their hand now. Okay, Urza Saga is a nice thing to have down. Go ahead and suspend our Profane Tutor. Although I guess I could have played Pyxis. I'm still not used to playing with Opals, man. Yeah, I could have cast Opal, cast Pyxis off of Saga, and then suspended Profane Tutor off of the Opal. Let's hope that's not relevant. That's an Assassin's Trophy. All right. And I think I will do this off of the Urza Saga. I wouldn't have been able to create a construct here anyway. Now the question is, do I want to take the Felia, or do I want to take the Overlord? I think I kind of want to take the Felia. I could have just done this on their, on my end step or something. Prismatic Ending on Welding Jar, huh? Well, I mean, I'm just gonna end up sacrificing it to save something. I think I'll sacrifice it to put a shield on my Pyxis. Super aggressive uses of these prismatic endings for my opponent here. Okay, so they are vindicating my Saga. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and boop the Felia now. Profane Tutor coming off suspend now. That's really good. I think I will cast it, and I think I actually might grab Lantern here. Do I want to grab Lantern? Yeah, I'll grab Lantern. Fire was a really good pickup. Consign to Memory, huh? All right, you can have that. They've got other things they can do, though. Oh, they're just casting Wrath of the Skies for 1, aren't they? Yeah, you got it. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna have to eat it. I'm gonna have to leave all the top decks where they are. White Orchid Phantom on top of their deck. Codex Shredder is on top of mine. And I think I have to let them have the White Orchid Phantom. They're considering consigning this. They really should not consign this. They're consigning it anyway. Now if I top deck an Ensnaring Bridge, then they don't have a consigned memory for it. White Orchid Phantom, they're going to blow up my Spire. They're going to give me a basic island. Still one unknown card in hand. It's an Ephemerate. Really? Is it an Ephemerate? We don't know. Dusk Rose Reliquary. I have no artifacts or creatures, so I cannot cast this. I don't even have the mana to cast it. I think this one's lost. I'd have to get dang lucky in order for me to come back from this. All right, they've got a Quantum Riddler in hand now. I'm taking a lot of damage here very quickly. I think they just slam Quantum Riddler. I don't know if they warp it or not. I mean, unless they have a Ephemerate in hand like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that sucks. That really sucks, actually. All right, I will... Oh, I can't Thoughtseize them because my Spire's shut off. I'm just going to concede here. All right, that was kind of rough. Perhaps I should have trophied the Overlord instead of trophying the Felia. We'll never know. Let's try and see if our sideboarding is correct. You know, why not? A Torpor Orb in the main might actually be a decent idea. I'm kind of tempted to have this Spellskite, but what do I bring it in over, you know? I could take out a trophy and put Spellskite in its place. I don't know how good that is. I think I'll try it. I would like to be on the play. With this hand, though, huh? I think that's entirely too many trophies. I'm going to mulligan this. This is much better. I will bottom a... either a Polluted Delta or a Fomori Vault. I think I'm going to bottom the Fomori Vault, actually. And I'm going to go straight to 10. Straight to 10. Well, straight to 15, at least. All right, so what do they got? Consign, Emperor of Bones, Ephemerate, Flicker Wisp, White Orchid Phantom. What am I most afraid of out of this hand? They can Ephemerate Flicker Wisp. That would give me some trouble later on in the game. White Orchid Phantom can take out my Urza Saga. I don't know. I don't know. At the very least, taking Consigned to Memory wouldn't give them a turn 1 play. But they could still bring in White Orchid Phantom on turn 3. Even if I take it now. I think I'm going to take Ephemerate out of this hand. I'm not confident that that's the correct play. Let's see if I can bait out that Consigned to Memory. I think I will play a Lantern of Insight first. Maybe they consign this, maybe they don't. They are biting. All right, that's gone. Pyxis is down now. And Mishra's Bauble is down. And they're just going to go straight into White Orchid Phantom here, I think. Unless they want to invest in an Emperor of Bones or something like that. But I don't think that's what they're doing. Okay, Whir of Invention just became a decent draw. Marsh Flats is down, White Orchid Phantom is down. And it's a Glimmer Void. I really don't want a Glimmer Void right now. And I drew 2 lands anyway. Okay, this is not going to be a very good game, I think. I will play a Polluted Delta and I'll pass. I was hoping I could do like a Whir of Invention so I could cast a Torpor Orb later on or something like that. But that's just not how it shook out. All right, Emperor of Bones is down. I guess I should have fetched there, shouldn't I? Oh well. Mishra's Bauble. Get down. Didn't matter, I didn't draw much. And I think they might just play Flicker Wisp for the clock here. The fact of the matter is that I need perfects at this point. Okay, yeah, they're playing Flicker Wisp for the clock. All right, they're going to White Orchid Phantom here. They're going to blow up my Spire of Industry. Yeah, that's fine. I will grab my second basic island. And now this fetch does not actually matter. They can kill me anyway. And I need to draw either Whir of Invention or Ensnaring Bridge right now. Is Assassin's Trophy good enough? It actually is good enough, unfortunately, because I can take out the Emperor of Bones with it. All right, I've got Mox Opal, which is not turned on, but at least will provide a tiny little bit of more protection for my Glimmer Void here. And I think I might just Assassin's Trophy the Emperor of Bones now. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that now. And I'm definitely fighting to not lose here. I'm not fighting to win, because I don't think this is going to be a winning game. Well, they kept their card on top. Gonna exile that. They have the Prismatic Ending on Pyxis. I still can rip Whir of Invention or Ensnaring Bridge here, and that will, in theory, buy me a little bit of time. Or I can rip Torpor Orb and die. Well played, opponent. Okay, well, we got the game 1 versus them, but game 2, they just kept me off balance long enough to where it just didn't really matter that much. This matchup is still very difficult, even with the Torpor Orbs. They have a lot of ways of interacting that Lantern just has a difficult time with managing. On to round 2. I hope you're enjoying the video. If you like watching my particular style of content, consider subscribing so you can get notified of my videos and live streams. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're on the draw in round 2 versus spiggysmalls with a no-lander. I can keep this. What am I going to bottom out of it, though? Honestly, I think it's the Hollowed Fountain. Oh my goodness, another shadowy backstreet, huh? They've been to Plains. And I actually think that I'm going to lead on Thoughtseize now that I've drawn it. Their own Thoughtseize. Yeah, see, this exact sort of hand here, this is why it's so difficult to play Lantern against them. What do I Thoughtseize out of this hand? I could Thoughtseize Overlord, and that just leaves them with Witch Enchanter Ephemerate. I could Thoughtseize Witch Enchanter. They just Overlord it back, and they still have the Ephemerate. I could take Ephemerate, and then they still have the Witch Enchanter, and they can Thoughtseize my Profane Tutor out of my hand. I think I've got to take the Ephemerate. Like, what am I supposed to do with a hand that looks like that? And now they're going to take my Profane Tutor, and I'm just going to be left with absolutely nothing. I have no semblance of a lock coming, and they are taking a turn off to Thoughtseize me. Okay, my Profane Tutor is down as expected, and now I'm just once again in like a really tough spot. Like, this Urza Saga helps, yes, but they have Solitude in hand. They're going to be able to clip my first construct that comes out of this. Overlord of the Baelmerk is coming down, and they milled double Quantum Riddler. All right. Oh, geez. Glad I took that Ephemerate. That is an Ensnaring Bridge. I don't think I want to put that down. Interesting, they didn't get another Surveil land there. They could just hardcast Witch Enchanter right now if they wanted to. Looks like they might be doing that. Probably taking out my Urza Saga here. Yeah, that's going for my Urza Saga. All right, I'll create the construct. Let's go ahead and cast that Welding Jar. And I am currently winning the damage race. I don't think that matters all that much when my opponent's deck is full of creature removal. Yeah, they're just gonna block here. I think I'm just gonna land Ensnaring Bridge. I'm not going to be killing them anytime soon. Fatal Push on the Construct token, I'll take it. And they're Thoughtseizing me. They're gonna take that Perilous Snare out of my hand. All right, their hand is Solitude and Quantum Riddler. Now it's Solitude and 2 unknowns because they're gonna draw 2 here. Would love a Lantern. Urza Saga will work. And losing that Perilous Snare means that that Quantum Riddler is just going to come down, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't have a second answer. I could find a Codex Shredder and recur the Perilous Snare eventually. That line takes so long that I don't know if it's even going to be relevant. I think they're just hardcasting Quantum Riddler now, right? Yeah. Polluted Delta was not a good draw. Still gonna play it out. Yeah, Emperor of Bones is going to come down. They have the Witch Enchanter in the graveyard that they can use. They're adapting it immediately. Going after Ensnaring Bridge as expected. Just gonna regen that real quick. At the bare minimum, I can make some constructs here. That's a Whir of Invention. Okay. What does that allow me to do? It allows me to find a Lantern of Insight with the Felia. All right, you can have Felia. You know why not? You're absolutely right. I would have loved the option to Whir for a Torpor Orb right now, I think. They're gonna Thoughtseize me. Okay, well, I'm just going to fire off this Whir now. Oh, actually, hang on. I can do this better. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do it for one. Grab another Pyxis here. You know, their life total is pretty low. I wish I had some direct damage. I might be able to get them off of that. Oh, they're Solituding something. Solitude evoking Solitude. I think they're just trying to get cards out of their hand for Quantum Riddler to refill. All right, and they are going to draw Thoughtseize plus... They're going to draw Thoughtseize plus what? Witch Enchanter and Emperor of Bones, huh? All right, so that gives me some problems. All right, that Warp is going to go away, and I need to find an answer to that Witch Enchanter right now. That is an answer to Witch Enchanter. Felia comes down. They're Thoughtseizing me. I'm just going to fire this off right now. Really wishing I had that Torpor Orb. Do I find second Ensnaring Bridge? Oh, wait, no, I only word for 2. Yeah, I got to find Welding Jar. All right. At least I know their hand. Jeez. At least I know their hand. Witch Enchanter is now coming down. Probably going to target my bridge. Yeah, I'm going to regen that. Welding Jar, man. Welding Jar is coming in real handy. They do not have any more Witch Enchanters in their graveyard, at least. I'm going to take that Flicker Wisp, and I'm going to leave them with an Aven Interrupter. So Witch Enchanter, Emperor of Bones is down. I think they still just have Godless Shrine in hand. Oh, wait, no, they played the Godless Shrine. They have Emperor of Bones. Okay. And they are going to draw 2 cards here, one of which is completely uncontrolled. They'll have an Aven Interrupter and a Flooded Strand. Emperor of Bones coming down. Are they going to cast that Quantum Riddler from the graveyard or from exile? No, they're not doing it. They're just going to find Overlord of the Balemerc, and they're going to go digging. They didn't find anything. Well, except for that other Quantum Riddler that was milled over earlier. Jeez, these Quantum Riddlers are causing me some real trouble, you know that? They are warping Quantum Riddler, and they're going to draw into Swamp and 2 additional cards. Solitude, Meticulous Archive. Okay. And at this point, I think I need to be very aggressively taking their stuff. I'm going to start milling. I'm going to mill that. I am definitely going to take the Ephemerate. On upkeep, I'm going to exile the Flicker Wisp. And do I mill the Witch Enchanter? I don't think I do, actually. I think I need to keep that on top of their deck for right now. And then I'm going to exile it. They're not fetching on their upkeep, unfortunately. Or they're not fetching on my end step. Another Witch Enchanter. All right, sure, we get it. And that's an Ephemerate. We're running into real trouble here. Fatal Push is actually lethal on this board because they can fetch Fatal Push their Witch Enchanter and then Emperor of Bones it back. I have to make them shuffle. That was not fun. That was not fun at all. Meticulous Archive is down. All right, they're casting that Quantum Riddler from exile now. They're evoking a Solitude, taking out an Aven Interrupter. Yeah, they're choosing to gain some life here. All right, that's fine. Lantern of Insight is out of my deck. And I think I'm going to activate a Pyxis here because I'm pretty sure I had a dead card on top of my deck earlier. Well, Spire of Industry is still dead. So if this Ensnaring Bridge dies, I'm taking 5, 9, 13, 15, 17, 21, which notably is not lethal. Huh. If I can fade this draw, then I think I might win. But I need to fade that draw exactly. Swamp's out of their hand. And they're hard casting a Quantum Riddler. They're looking to draw something else. Emperor of Bones, a fresh one. I don't think there's anything in their yard that is worth taking. Yeah, they're not even bothering. They're taking stuff out of my yard here. But that Emperor of Bones does mean that I need to now fade an additional draw. I'm going to start exiling with Pyxis here. And I'm going to additionally take the risk and I'm going to mill them for 1. And I mill Teferi Time Raveler. Okay, that's fantastic. So now this means that any mill rock off the top is lethal. And that's a Mox Opal. What can I do with Mox Opal? Not all that much, really. Not all that much. And they have 5, 9, 13, 17, 19, 21, 25, 27, 29. So I do also need to fade an additional thing that they can do. I'm just going to hold this. I think I will exile now. I should do it on their upkeep. Okay, fade this draw. It can't be a Fatal Push. It can't be another copy of Witch Enchanter. It can't be... I guess Overlord would be fine. It can't be an Ephemerate. Huh. Yeah, last card in their deck actually could be a number of things. Let's see what it is. It's a Fatal Push. Oh, they have Teferi in their graveyard, and Overlord returns Planeswalkers? Yeah, okay. Oh, but if they activate Teferi, then they draw a card. That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, you got it. That's really funny, actually. I enjoyed winning that game for that reason. Wow, that was really funny, actually. We'll take any win we can get versus Blink. I do not care how disgusting or messy it is. Perilous Stare needs to stay in. The Underworld Cookbook can go. Pithing Needles, kind of want to keep... Well, they had a bunch of stuff in there, so I don't know. Grafdigger's Cage can go. And I think I need to bring in Torpor Orb. I did not see a single Clarion Conqueror in the list from last time. Do I think they're going to have Clarion Conqueror in this list as well? I don't know. Maybe I bring in the Stone Brain. I could bring in Spellskite. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, when they had the Fatal Push, they might have had another Emperor in hand or something, or maybe I was just making a mistake and I just should have let them draw the Fatal Push. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to review the tape on that one. Oh man, I'm really trying to decide what else to bring in. I think I'll make it a single Assassin's Trophy, and I think I will actually take out the Pithing Needles and I'll bring in more trophies. Maybe 3 trophies is too many. Maybe I'll leave 1 Pithing Needle in. Okay, I'm not happy with this. I'm not really happy with this. I feel like the sideboarding plan for this particular matchup needs work. And of course, we get 2 trophies in the opening hand. Do I keep this? I think I'm going to keep it. Marsh Flats into pass, huh? Oh, and that's a Lantern turn 1 that I could play if I wanted to. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to fetch a Watery Grave here. And I'm going to Thoughtseize. Start the game at 15. Hopefully it's worth it. Clarion Conqueror, Emperor of Bones, Overlord of the Palemerk. Again, huh? And Felia. Well, if they want that Clarion Conqueror, they're going to have to work for it. I will actually take that. Would I rather take that, or would I rather take the Overlord? I'm not sure. If I take Overlord, then they just drop Emperor of Bones, or they even hold up Felia, right? Overlord just makes these sorts of hands so much harder to handle. I think I'm going to take No, I'm going to not take Overlord because I want to slow them down a little bit. Oh, geez. These sorts of decisions are just so difficult to make. Next turn, I am not likely to be casting an Assassin's Trophy. I really want to slow them down. That's what I want to do. I think I take Felia. I'm going to take Felia. I don't know if that's correct, but Felia is a play that they have next turn, and it can mess with what I'm doing with Urza Saga. Felia can blink Overlord. It just causes a bunch of trouble, and I don't think I'm ready to deal with that yet. I mean, I'm not ready to deal with any of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ready to deal with anything in their hand. They're choosing to shock in Godless Shrine. They're casting Overlord now. Oh, man, that's so many good hits. Look at that graveyard. They chose a Witch Enchanter. Okay, could really use a Torpor Orb right about now. Solitude is whatever. They're playing it as a land. That's not good. That's not good. Yep, that's why. That's why that's not good. Yeah, I hate that for me. Are they just gonna blow up my Urza Saga? Please just blow up my Urza Saga. Okay, great. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what is still in their hand? It's like that, I think. I'm gonna cast this Mox Opal, and I think I'm going to play out Glimmer Void. All right, they're gonna draw Overlord here. And I think if I get to this point, I think I just need to work for a Torpor Orb. Although I could attempt to keep them off of lands. That's an option that I have available to me. Flicker Wisp is tucked underneath the Emperor of Bones. Okay. I don't think I can really keep them off lands, though. I don't think that's a really good option that I have. How do I want to handle this? How do I want to handle this? I think I'm going to take this hit, and then I am going to boop their Emperor of Bones here to get that Flicker Wisp out of play. Although, do I really want to do that? Yeah, I think I want to do that now. That does unfortunately give them some more lands. Okay, that's down. Ensnaring Bridge is down. They're probably going to drop Clarion Conqueror. Hopefully they drop Clarion Conqueror. Hopefully they just drop Clarion Conqueror. I don't know if they're going to do that, though. Okay, they did. They're swinging in with the Witch Enchanter. That's good for them. Okay, and now we have some problems. Problems are Clarion Conqueror is going to come down very soon. They're going to be... Well, it's not very soon. Clarion Conqueror is down now, and it needs to be answered relatively quickly. They will be able to find something off of the Overlord of the Baelmerk that they have in their hand. I think I'm going to hold open Assassin's Trophy here. I'm actually just going to hold open everything. Ephemerate, huh? So here's what I could do. I could let them draw the Ephemerate, have them Ephemerate something, and then blow them out when they target, say, a Witch Enchanter or a Flicker Wisp or something. And that would allow me to blank the Ephemerate and also make it so that they can't protect their Clarion Conqueror with Ephemerate when I go to Assassin's Trophy it. This opponent has been playing relatively aggressively. This would allow me to essentially blank this draw step if I think that they're going to misplay it. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to let that happen. And they are going for the aggressive play. Okay. What? Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Keep forgetting that I can't just auto tap things for blue. Okay. That's good. And I'm going to grab that Torpor Orb. Okay, very good. So we blanked the Ephemerate there. And now next turn, I can trophy a Witch Enchanter. They're going to Overlord here. Honestly, even if they just grab a Quantum Riddler, that's a huge problem for me. Yeah, they got the Quantum Riddler. Okay, I'm going to play my island. They do get to rebound this Ephemerate here. They chose not to. Playing Polluted Delta as a land per turn. And they're just going to Quantum Riddler now. Right, it doesn't enter. The enters trigger doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, that's better than what I was expecting. I mean, it's still going to cause trouble for me. Still being very patient with this Assassin's Trophy. Why are they fetching? That Quantum Riddler's on top of their tech, mate. Do I get to blank another draw? If they keep this Thoughtseize on top. Okay. Flicker Wisp on top of their deck. They're going to draw it. They are casting Flicker Wisp. It's not going to do anything. I'm going to play another Ensnaring Bridge here. Okay, thank goodness. Finally, we have a Pyxis of Pandemonium. Oh my goodness. All right, and I am going to trophy their Clarion Conqueror now. My stuff's turned back on. They are choosing to find a basic. They found Marsh Flats. They are warping in their Quantum Riddler. Marsh Flats is down. Finally, some good draws. I'm going to let them have this Witch Enchanter, and let's see what they draw underneath of it. Witch Enchanter and Ephemerate. All right. They should be dumping their hand. Their outs right now are Prismatic Ending and Wrath of the Skies. Did I bring in my Spellskite? No, I didn't. All right. So yeah, Prismatic Ending and Wrath of the Skies are their outs right now. Oh man, that means I need to be building up my Welding Jar collection. Okay, Witch Enchanter is down. Pyxis is in play now. I've got 2 of those. They should Solitude right now. They're choosing to Ephemerate. All right, whatever. Okay, so they're going to draw Boggart Trawler and what? Clarion Conqueror. All right. And they are choosing to activate that right now, or cast it right now. I'm gonna try digging for an answer to it. Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, prismatic ending on top of their deck. Oh, I actually was not allowed to let them keep that prismatic ending because they're gonna prismatic ending the torpor orb now. Okay, Boggart Trawler's down. Am I going to cast this right now? I don't think so. Yeah, they can prismatic ending the torpor orb. I shouldn't have let them do that. Prismatic ending and Emperor of Bones. And this is why Quantum Riddler is such a gosh dang big problem. Oh, they're just going for Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, you can take it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Emperor of Bones is down. Come on, why can't I draw like a Profane Tutor, like a Fomori Vault, something like that? Why do I have to be drawing these stinky Mox Opals? I'm gonna cast it. I'm gonna keep one. I said I'm gonna keep one. There we go. And they're gonna draw Felia and what? Oh, they're not drawing Felia? They're drawing Emperor of Bones and Ephemerate. Okay. See, if they had gone after the Torpor Orb, then they would be in a very strong position right now. But that Witch Enchanter is just going to rot in their hand. I mean, I'm going to cast my cards. I don't have much else that I can do. They need to ephemerate something right now if they want to draw more. And they are doing that. Okay, Witch Enchanter and Quantum Riddler, and there's a Wrath of the Skies on top. Quantum Riddler's down. And this is why Quantum Riddler is just so difficult for Lantern to deal with. It is a high mana value creature. And frankly, it's a lot. Yeah, there's the Witch Enchanter. It just draws cards in a way that Lantern's Lock cannot interact with. I think I don't have any outs to this. I think I just need to hope that they misplay or something. Like, there's no way they don't just Wrath for 3 here, right? Wrath for 2? Okay. Okay, and yeah, that's game. Ugh, dude, that's so nasty. Okay, and I need to get a post-sideboard game now. Honestly, maybe I should be bringing in the Stone Brain. Maybe I should be bringing that in. Maybe over Perilous Snare? But that's a good card, right? I could bring it in over Profane Tutor. Profane Tutor seems like it might be a bit slow. And then what? I bring in the 3rd trophy. More removal. I could bring in Duskrose Reliquary over Perilous Snare. Yeah, I think I'll try that. Maybe I should have cut the Pithing Needle. Okay, let's see if we can get a post-sideboard game. Yeah, I'll keep this. It's 4 lands, sure, but it's got the Torpor Orb, which is really necessary in this matchup. And, Pyxis, Mishra's Bauble does a lot of work. Let's just hope they don't turn 1 Thoughtseize me here. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. All right, yeah. That's pretty bad, actually. All right, I think I want to... Oh, man, I think I'm gonna keep Thoughtseize, actually. And more lands. Yeah. Well, that's just the way it goes. Winning all the game 1s, but none of the game 2s. Wow. Okay, what do I do against this? You take Wrath of the Skies, they warp in. Oh, they don't have blue. I don't think that's relevant. I have to take Wrath of the Skies here. They'll find blue eventually. Like, what on earth am I supposed to do against that sort of hand? They're just gonna have Felias now. Whir of Invention, that's not nothing. Flooded Strand is down. The Fairy Time Raveler could come down. I think they might actually be doing that. Nope, they're just evoking their Quantum Riddler here. I'm gonna let Felia attack in, see what happens. And they are just going for the Quantum Riddler here. I'm gonna Whir for 1. I'm gonna try and find a Lantern of Insight, I think. At least I'll get to see what they draw, right? This might have been me burning the Whir. All right, that's down. They're gonna get to draw another card. It's a Plains. And I've got 3 Glimmer Voids between my hand and my battlefield here. That's all 3 of them. They're ephemerating Quantum Riddler. Yeah, sure. Marsh Flats. Fairy, Godless Shrine, Marsh Flats, Meticulous Archive, Plains. Okay. I can get an Ensnaring Bridge down, and they're just gonna make this insane value engine right here. This is really strong. Okay, another Marsh Flats. And I really badly need this Whir of Invention, actually, so I am going to draw it. And I am going to do this right now. All right. Grabbing the Ensnaring Bridge. Gonna have to take that Witch Enchanter at some point. I think I'm gonna do it on their upkeep, or if they ephemerate now, then I'll do it. This doesn't really matter because they just ephemerate their Quantum Riddler in response. And now it's just in their hand, and they have the lands they need to cast it. So I will actually need 2nd Ensnaring Bridge relatively quickly. All right, that's another Felia. And they can just draw this Wrath of the Skies, and I just have nothing that I can do about it. Just blinking their Witch Enchanter just for funsies. Okay, yeah, that's down. And they did what? I'm not actually sure. Honestly, does it really matter at this point? Like, they have Wrath the Skies on top of their deck. I'm at 7 life. I think I'm just gonna wrap this up. It's not really that I couldn't possibly win from here, but the chances that I do win are so low that I feel like I would rather not bother. Getting kicked in the teeth twice in a row by Esper Blink. I mean, we took game 1. That's something. That's difficult to do. But our sideboarding is not strong enough for this matchup, I think. Maybe we need more Torpor Orbs. Maybe we need, I don't know, more needles or something. Maybe I need to be taking out consistency, I guess. It's just difficult to handle this matchup because they have multiple different types of hate that they employ. They have the Witch Enchanters and the Flicker Wisps that directly target your permanents. They've got Clarion Conqueror that shuts off the lock. They've got Wrath of the Skies and Prismatic Ending that do not die to Torpor Orb, notably. They just don't die to Torpor Orb. I feel like the only way to deal with a matchup like this is to get some sort of, I don't know, like hexproof indestructible combo on your lock pieces. Or maybe just hexproof would be good enough. Something like Padim, Console of Innovation, might actually be decent. It's worth a shot, I guess. They don't have any 1-power creatures, so even if you draw 2 lands off Padim, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know. I still suppose you would be vulnerable to Wrath of the Skies, though, yeah? I feel like there might be solutions here that I just need to be a little bit more creative in finding. But the way that this is working right now, it's just not working. It's just not working at all. Let's move on to round 3.
Has your loss to Lantern Control left you bitter and despondent? Try working through the 5 stages of grief by joining the Fateseal MTG Patreon. Languish in denial with my $2 tier and get access to my Discord community and your name in my video credits. You'll gain more perks as your grief matures, like tournament live streams, lessons on Lantern Control, and office hours with me. Once you reach acceptance, every month you'll get a private session with me and can even feature your own deck here on Fateseal MTG.
We are on the draw versus Alan07 in our 3rd round. I'm going to keep this hand. It's got Lantern plus Whir, which is nice. It's got a little bit of consistency with Mishra's Bauble. Oh, thank goodness we're not playing against Esper Blink again. That's not something I want to be doing right now. Wish they had kept the Fatal Push on top, though. Okay, Mishra's Bauble. Tell me if I am cracking this fetch or not. I am cracking the fetch. I'm going to grab Watery Grave. I will shock in. For some reason, it's not registering my clicks very well. Oh, that's just a Grafdigger's Cage on top of my deck. Yeah, thank you. I'll take that. I'm not going to fart around with Profane Tutors. This deck goes very quickly. I'm just going to play Grafdigger's Cage while I hope it will resolve. And it did. Choosing to shock in, they're casting a Tainted Indulgence. They will draw another Tainted Indulgence and a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And they discarded that Persist. Another Fable on top. Fable's down. And now I'm just going to play Urza Saga. Do I suspend Profane Tutor here? Yeah, Ensnaring Bridge is not going to actually help me because I'm going to have too many cards in hand. Let's just go ahead and do that. Looks like we might be playing against Creativity, actually. So they've got Archon of Cruelty on top of their deck. They didn't use the ability of Fable. That's kind of scary. They could actually just cast Creativity right now if they wanted to. And they are choosing to do it. Archon of Cruelty. Yeah, I will surrender a basic island to that. Profane Tutor is going to tick up, or tick down, depending on how you want to look at it. I'm going to cast this Mox Opal, and then I'm just going to cast Ensnaring Bridge from hand. Notably, next turn, if they wanted to, they could start copying Archon with Reflection, and that would be a way that they could drain me for life. I think I'm just going to find a Pithing Needle for that and shut that down. They're Creativitying again. Oh, it's my Ensnaring Bridge. Right. That targets any artifact, not just ones that, you know. Okay, that's fine. Well, I guess I'm going to shuffle with Lantern of Insight because I want to hopefully hit another Ensnaring Bridge. Can I do that, please? Okay, thank you. All right, what do I get? I get a Mishra's Bauble. That's not good enough. I am going to fall to 3 here, and I have to discard my Whir of Invention. Maybe I should have just kept the lantern around, huh? I have a Profane Tutor on suspend. Perilous Snare. I don't think I want that. Yeah, I don't think I want that. I'm going to put this on the bottom. And I will just grab the Ensnaring Bridge directly here. Here I'm going to grab Pithing Needle, and I'm going to name Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Urza Saga is there, and I'm going to cast my Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, let's see how well this goes. I'm dead to a lot of things. Surge of Salvation is only good for 1 turn. I need something that is a more permanent answer. Faithless Looting is fine, I guess. Discarding 2 Fatal Pushes. All right, another Fable. And they are doing their damnedest to try and dig out of this log. I fear that they're going to actually be able to do it. Okay, well, Inquisition of Kozilek is not nothing, I guess. I think I will just fire that off now. Hard Evidence, Tainted Indulgence, Mountain. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty weak lock that I have. I think they're going to break out of this quite quickly. Discarded Mountain and Dwarven Mine. Draw 2 additional cards. So they have 1 unknown card in hand, and they are just choosing to cast Hard Evidences. Probably going to cycle here, maybe. Okay. There's another Hard Evidence. All right, hoping for something good here. It's a Welding Jar. That's not nothing. They are choosing to fetch. Even if I only get a Lantern of Insight off of this, that's still good to keep that information hidden. I'm just going to have to assume that they have nothing in hand. And I need them to just hard whiff for, like, a long time. They just need to hard whiff for a very long time. Faithless Looting. They got 2 of those. And Archon of Cruelty in hand is not a hard whiff, by the way. That's not a hard whiff, because they can just hard cast those at some point. I think I'm going to sacrifice Lantern, have them shuffle. I have another Lantern on top of my deck. Okay, that's their second Faithless Looting. That is a Raucous Theater that they're playing. And they're doing something here. That's a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, that's a very good way to spend your turn, I think. They got another Archon of Cruelty on top of their deck. I think I'm actually out of Lanterns if I sacrifice this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I need to keep them off land number 8 for the rest of the game. Oh my god. And now I need to keep them off of land number 8 for the rest of the game, potentially, but I also need to find Codex Shredder specifically so that I can get my Lantern of Insight back from the graveyard. I mean, it just destroys an artifact. It just does it. Yeah, shuffle. Again, this is not what winning looks like, by the way. Now all they need to do is draw any land here. You know, maybe I should have let them have the Prismari command, huh? Because even if it destroys my Ensnaring Bridge, I can still Welding Jar it. Just play the land. Just put me out of my misery here. Okay, they found another creativity. They're just going to put Archon of Cruelty directly into play and deal the last 3 points to me here. All right, yeah. That happened. Surprisingly difficult to control this deck, I think. I found a lot of stuff, but perhaps I sacrificed my Lantern too aggressively early on in the game. That might have been what caused me to lose here. I'm going to sideboard. We'll see what happens. Spellskite is notably not very good here because the Archon triggers just kill your creatures just for free. And it's not pulling up for some reason. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. It is target opponent, at least. How do I want to sideboard against them? I feel like Duress is extremely strong. There's a chance that I want to bring in the Stone Brain as well. What do I side out? I want to keep my cookbooks. I want to keep at least 1 Pithing Needle. Perilous Snare isn't very good. Welding Jars are decently good, I think. Profane Tutor could come out. Mishra's Bauble could come out. I'm not sure. Maybe the Stone Brain isn't where I want to be. Yeah, I feel like the Stone Brain might not be where I want to be with this. Just not sure what else I'm taking out, you know? I think I'll take out a single Needle, and I'll take out a single Mishra's Bauble. I don't know if that's correct or not. I would like to be on the play here. Oh, with this hand, huh? This is a turn 1 Lantern Jar Opal Thoughtseize, turn 2 Suspend Profane Tutor. You know, I think I'm going to keep this. I really badly want another land, but this could very easily just be disaster. I do have the other land on top of my deck at the very least. That's nice. They have the creativity. They kept a hand that interacts pretty nicely, I suppose. I will take that creativity. I'm not going to Pithing Needle right now. Blood Crypt They did shock that in. They're going to Faithless Looting here. They're going to draw Consign to Memory. And what? An Emrakul, huh? Sure. They discarded Emrakul and Archon. Oh, well, there's Persist. I mean, there's no way they could have known that, right? It shuffled after they discarded the Emrakul. All right, so now I have some choices. I have some choices here. My opponent has practically nothing in hand right now. They have no way of gaining any additional draws. If I created a construct right now, it would be a 4/4, but it would be a 6/6 by the time that my next turn came around. So they would draw Persist. I'd swing in for 6. They'd get 1 additional draw beyond that, and then I'd be swinging for lethal. I think I'm going to take that line. I can fetch a Millrock off this Urza Saga if I need to, and that's just a mountain. They're just dead. They are just dead. There we go. Well, I guess they're not necessarily dead. They could consign my triggered ability here. I think that's really the only option that they have. Yeah, they're doing it. Okay. Take 5. Got a mountain in hand. Playing Steam Vents, and they're just drawing badly. Okay, and they give it up. Took a little bit of an aggressive line in order to make that work, but it did work. Let's go ahead and begin sideboarding again. That time, a single discard spell was indeed enough to take them off of their shenanigans. Let's try and get a win here. Let's see if we can get one. I will keep this hand, actually. Glimmer Void with no lands, though. I think I'm gonna... It's got a lot of stuff that I really like, though. But if I don't draw an artifact or another black-producing land... I have tons of artifacts in my deck. Surely something's going to turn up, right? That's not good. Please just, I don't know, do, like, bolt me or something. Nope, that's a Thoughtseize. I didn't want to see Thoughtseize. That's going to take my Ensnaring Bridge, right? They took my Inquisition. They feel like they can cover my bridge. Well, I'm playing Island into Pyxis. And here we're starting to see the weaknesses of Glimmer Void. Glimmer Void has been pretty good to us for the past 7 matches or so. But here, I don't know. I'm going to be playing this Glimmer Void right now. I'm going to suspend a Profane Tutor off of it. And all we have to go off of to protect it is this top-decked Pyxis. They're casting Faithless Looting now. Discarded a Dwarven Mine and an Archon of Cruelty. They could consign me here if they wanted to, and they are really hard representing that consign. I think I'm going to shove Bridge right into it. Drawing that second Bridge is very nice. Oh, they just didn't consign it for some reason. Maybe they have an answer for it in some other way. They're doing nothing. Why are they doing nothing? Are they going to consign this trigger? I think they're thinking about it. They did, in fact, think about it. Replicating once. All right, that's fine, I guess. I think I shock in this Hallowed Fountain. Do I whir for 1 and find a Lantern of Insight? I think I will do that. I have another Whir of Invention in my hand right now. Yeah, I'll go ahead and grab Lantern of Insight here. Oh, do I want to give them a Faithless Looting in exchange for not having this Thoughtseize on top of my deck? I have a feeling they don't have much going on. I am actually going to take that Faithless Looting. This Arid Mesa on their side of the battlefield does make that a little bit more difficult, though. Maybe I should, again, be doing things in their upkeep instead of doing things right away on my main phase, huh? And yeah, Dice, you got a point. I could have kept a different hand. I just chose to keep that one. Ooh, yes, Arid Mesa on top. Keep that on top, please. Just right there. Okay, Emrakul, that's fine, whatever. Now watch. Here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna go land. They're gonna go through the breach, or they're gonna just do Meltdown for 4, huh? Okay, eat it. There goes my Glimmer Void. And they had some sort of land or something on top of their deck. I don't remember exactly what it was. Flashing back, Faithless Looting, and they got rid of Steam Vents and Emrakul. I don't think the land was on top. That was on top was a Steam Vents, was it? It might have been. That Emrakul's definitely out of hand, though. Okay, Welding Jar's in play now. Honestly, maybe I shouldn't have cast this Ensnaring Bridge, huh? Another Dwarven Mine. Are they just gonna go Dwarf Token Beatdown? Or did they really just find another creativity here? Oh, they're doing it for 4. They're blowing up the whole world. Okay, regen my bridge. Ensnaring Bridge isn't destroyed, so I'm not gonna get the additional trigger on it. And I cannot cast this Whir of Invention. I could discard it for more Evolve. I don't think there's a point for me doing that. Oh, I should have tapped Urza Saga for mana or like made a token or something. Okay, and we have got the weakest possible lock in play now. I think I need to let them have this Faithless Looting. They're surveilling. Persist is gone. Wow, the last card in hand was just straight up creativity. All right, not much I could have done about that. I survived a meltdown and first creativity, and I wrapped it up to the second one. Okay, well played from my opponent. It's possible that I kept a bit of a sketchy keep there. Honestly, Glimmer Void in that particular situation, at the beginning of the game, there could have been an argument for keeping it or not. But after that meltdown, Glimmer Void not tapping for blue, or not being present at all, actually, that hurt. That hurt a lot. That really hurt a lot. Maybe it was just kind of a price that you pay for playing a deck like this, because, you know, you have to play 4 colors. And that Glimmer Void also cast Thought Seizes and Assassin's Trophies and Portable Holes and Whir of Inventions and stuff like that. But that is kind of the point that everybody was making about Glimmer Void and Spire of Industry, which is, you know, you eat a meltdown and you lose your land too. I don't know how relevant that was. I mean, I feel like we were just kind of in a bad spot regardless, but maybe we could have recovered using the Whir of Invention that we had to discard to the Archon of Cruelty. Maybe we couldn't have. I'm going to move on to round 4. We've started round 4 on the play versus Naughty Boy. I've been a naughty boy. I will accept the play. This is Bauble, Pyxis, Opal, Inquisition, turn 2 Whir, possibly. Yeah, I'll keep it. I think that I fetch, what? Basic Island here? Do I really want to fetch Basic Island? Yeah, I'll fetch Basic Island. I have my colors coming off of the Mox Opal. All right, Mishra's Bauble, Pyxis, Opal, and Inquisition U. It's Mardu Energy. How interesting. It's Mardu Energy. I think I take the Ajani here. Yeah, I'm going to take the Ajani. And I will F6. Guide of Souls down first. I'm fine with that. Now the big question. I think I do actually pop this Mishra's Bauble, even if it turns off my Mox Opal. I do want that land. I'm going to draw that. Oh, I drew second Mox Opal here. Oh, right. Mox Opal is turned off, actually. So I could dump my hand for a Whir of Invention on 2. That would find me a Lantern of Insight, and I could start lanterning now. Or I could hold this Whir of Invention, and I could find an Ensnaring Bridge later. I think since I have 2 Millrocks in play, I am going to lantern now. This is possibly too aggressive of a play. I don't know, though. I'm going to keep this one. It seems like it's a really fun thing to do, though, and if we came here to play Whir, then we're definitely going to be playing Whir. I think I let them have the Ragavan. Glad I did. Bloodstained Mire is down. That's an Ocelot Pride, and that's just Ragavan normal cast. They have 1 unknown card in hand still. I just have to pray to the heart of the cards here that it's not something particularly relevant. Okay, and I'm digging. Mishra's Bauble, I think I actually will keep that. I'm in a little bit of trouble, but with my consistency, I think I'll be okay. I'm taking 5. Ragavan's going to clear the Glimmer Void off the top of my deck here. Oh, I could take 7, actually. Looks like they are going to make me take 7. Spreading the love around. Very smart and handsome of my opponent to do that. And that is Glimmer Void off the top of my deck. I am going to exile with Pyxis here. Dreams of Steel and Oil, huh? Yeah, I'm going to take the Mishra's Bauble off the top there. Okay, I'm going to pop Mishra's Bauble. I'm going to go digging a little harder. And remember, we're digging to 6 outs. Like, that's not a ton of outs, but it's a decent chunk of outs. It's enough to where I think I should find one before I die. Yeah, there it is. And I will actually shock this in so that I can keep a Millrock untapped. They're choosing to fetch. Oh yeah, I don't care about that strategic betrayal. I'll gladly exile a creature I control and my graveyard. Arid Mesa on top of their deck now. They played a Marsh Flats. I do not believe I knew about a Marsh Flats. So that tells me that I am good to go. I'm going to work for 3 here. I'm going to grab Ensnaring Bridge. Whir of Invention, just such a good card. Incredible. And I believe we have just slurped up Mardu Energy here. Go ahead and drop that Gravedigger's Cage. Make Flage, not a problem for later on. They are choosing to fetch on their end step, and they're just drawing nothing but lands. They're going to have a clump of really good cards later on, right? Search for survivors. Return up to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. Yeah, I don't think I want them having that. They can return an Ajani. That's going to be trouble for me. Ooh, from Worry Vault's a good pickup. I'll take that. And we got him in the squeeze. All right, Bloodstained Mire down. Just gonna go ahead and take that Goblin Bombardment. You can't have that, sorry. That could kill me. That would be very dangerous. All right, let's go ahead and spin to win. Looking at 6 cards here. I will just grab Pyxis. Voice of Victory, I don't think I want them having that because that's gonna make them gain life and get a bunch of energy, and that's gonna slow down my client. They haven't shown me that they have all that many outs. I think I will take a risk and I will exile that. Galvanic Discharge is fine. Boy, my MTGO client really is lagging pretty hard. I don't know what's going on with that. Come on, mate. Let me cast this spell, please. Okay. Oh, boy. All right, I need to focus a little bit harder here, I think. Ocelot Pride is fine. I'm going to start auto-yielding to these. And I will attempt to exile. There we go. Jeez. Yeah, I don't want them drawing the extra cards. Even if it is relatively easy to keep them off of it. All right, yeah. That's just the rest of the turn. Okay, you know the deal. Spin to win. Oh, hey, there's Flage. Hello, Flage. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Taking one of my own pick sides with that move. Will I actually draw this Thoughtseize? Oh, yeah, I have Fomori Vault. I can just spin it into something else, even if it's just a land that I find. I think I'm going to grab Pithing Needle here, and I will just name Ajani. Voice of Victory is fine. Oh, this client is really chugging. I might have to restart it again. I chose a player. There we go. All right. Yeah, it just doesn't care that I've auto-yielded to this. It's forcing me to respond to it. I'm going to try keeping them off of Guide of Souls now. All right, that's a Flage. Don't really mind that too much. I will exile it, though. Nah, I'm not going to exile the second one. They're fetching. Okay, whatever. Hadn't really even considered that they had a fetch land in play still. So that'll let them exile an artifact from my graveyard. That's irrelevant. Notably, they're only going to get one more draw. Let's find out what it is. It's this Fatal Push. Okay, have fun with Fatal Push. Exile. 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 Draw a card. Exile. Exile. And mill for funsies. Okay, and that's F6ing for the rest of the game here. The client is just really struggling. You can see how badly it's doing here. I think I lost a ton of time to that specifically. All right, well, we are winning that game. Now we need to win one of the post-sideboard ones. So how do I want to sideboard against Energy, huh? I think Perilous Snare can come out. I said Perilous Snare can come out, thank you. And I think my Portable Holes can come in. Grafdigger's Cage can come out. The Underworld Cookbook stays in. Needles stay in. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I don't know if I want to be sideboarding too much in this matchup. It is the most popular deck in the meta after all. Well, Boros Energy is. Mardu Energy is a little bit less popular. A lot less popular at this point. But your deck really should be built to try and beat Mardu or Boros Energy in Game 1 anyway. This hand has Urza Saga and Ensnaring Bridge in it. What did my opponent do here? They kept 7. Do I really think that a naked Ensnaring Bridge is going to be good enough? Maybe. It's going to suck if I draw more than one land, though. It's going to suck if I get Thoughtseized. I hadn't thought about that. Thoughtseize is not a card that Boros Energy plays. Plays Ragavan, though. Oh, that's second Ensnaring Bridge. That's very good for me. Yeah, I'm just going to take this hit, falling to 18. And they found my Codex Shredder. That could actually cause some trouble for me if they decide to cast it. It looks like they're just warping in Halia right now. And they are casting Codex Shredder. And they've got the Ocelot Pride. All right, sure. And they are going to get the card draw. That was really tight of them. I think they might have only played that for the card draw. But still, this Codex Shredder is a problem. I might not be fast enough here. Yeah, they're just going to start milling me right away. I may at some point have to take out this Codex Shredder. I'm falling to 14 here. They hit a Glimmer Void. I really didn't want to draw that. Thank you. That's Spyro. Spyro is going to discard Ragavan and a Johnny, huh? Oh, Dreams of Steel and Oil. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. I really didn't want the second Ensnaring Bridge in hand. Still a very good chance that they just end up going wide. And this Ensnaring Bridge just doesn't do much. Yeah, I didn't want that Thoughtseize, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and play this island. And I may actually have to get the Underworld Cookbook just to survive next turn here. If I can even last that long. 7. Yeah, I'm falling to 2. They hit a Whir of Invention. That's not useful to them. All right. Hylia's going to come down. And I think I just F6 here. I need to grab the Underworld Cookbook off this Urza Saga. And I need to desperately hope that I do not have a land on top of my deck. The Welding Jar. That was actually really good for me. It still does need to be an Underworld Cookbook. The Underworld Cookbook. Okay, I'm going to cast this Welding Jar. I am going to discard this Thoughtseize. I'm going to gain some life. I'm going to pop that food immediately. And then I'm going to play this Hollowed Fountain. And we'll see what my opponent can do about this. They have lots and lots and lots and lots of options. Ooh, that's not good. Ajani Nakata Pariah is coming into play. If they have a way to kill a cat here, then they just win. But if they have a way to kill a cat, then they're not using it. Oh my god, come on, mate. All these triggers. Always yield. Always yield. Okay. And now I'm going to attempt to find some semblance of draw control here. That's a Pyxis. I don't think I want that. I'm not going to draw 2 cards. I'm just going to draw 1. Well, 1 additional card, I mean. The Mishra's Bauble and a Portable Hole. Well, I mean, that Portable Hole is an answer to Ajani. There we go. Just going to boop that. Milling me in response. Sure, whatever. And unfortunately, I can't just auto-yield here. I have to hold things up. Guide of Souls is coming down. I do want to take a second to point out something interesting that I've noticed about Hylia. Look at the templating of this triggered ability. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. There's not an intervening if in that, which means that earlier in this game, on that really early turn where my opponent grabbed my Codex Shredder, they were able to gain 3 life and draw a card just in the nick of time. If that had been an intervening if, it would not have gone onto the stack at all. But because it was on the stack and it checked as it was resolving only, and not when it was trying to put itself onto the stack like it would in an intervening if, then it actually worked. Do I want to play this Ensnaring Bridge? Yeah, I think I want to play the Ensnaring Bridge. I think I'm going to play my land, and I'm going to play Ensnaring Bridge. This is a really long time to go without a Lantern of Insight, by the way. So notably, my opponent is milling me for 1 a turn with this Codex Shredder, but they are also, quote-unquote, milling themselves 1 a turn with this Hylia, wherever it is. There it is. Yeah, this guy. So we are staying roughly equal on deck size. I'm not actually worried about this right now. I was worried about it at the beginning of the game. I knew it was going to be a later problem and not a now problem, but it's still not later. And they didn't even use Shredder that time. Ah, well, that's Goblin Bombardment. Okay. Yeah, that's an out. That's an out. All right. Well, that's what happens when you don't find a Lantern of Insight for a long time. Okay, do I want to be changing how I sideboard here, or do I want to just keep everything the same? Client just casually lagging for 17 seconds in a row. I think I'm just going to keep it the same. I would like to be on the play. Not with that hand. This one I will keep. I'm going to bottom a Whir, actually. And I hate to do this, but I'm going to fetch Shock down to 15 and Thoughtseize them. Dude, can you please let me activate this fetch? Come on. Oh my god. That was terrible. I lost so much time just to nothing. Clarion Conqueror, Ragavant, Thoughtseize, Voice of Victory, 3 lands. I'll take the Clarion Conqueror. I don't think I mind losing a card out of my hand. Sorry, the client's just lagging so hard. Clarion Conqueror's down, Blood Crypt is down, Ragavant's down. Alright, well, I'm kind of at the mercy of my opponent right now. Would have loved an additional land in this hand. They're going to Thoughtseize me, they're going to see Double Bridge, Pithing Needle, and Whir. They took the Pithing Needle. What did they draw to make the Pithing Needle the most important thing in my hand? It's possible that they just wanted to take the thing that I could play, because currently the rest of my cards in my hand actually don't, do anything because I can't cast them. Looks like they might be playing Voice of Victory here. Oh, that's so much worse. So they know that I'm not drawing a land. Oh, wow, that was bad. All right, yeah. I might just do nothing here. I might just do nothing here. Oh, and do I want to take the scaling threat or do I want to take the scaling threat? Ocelot Pride comes down. Next turn after that, I take 1, then I take 2, then I take 3. I think I need to take the Voice of Victory. I don't know if that's correct or not. I said I need to take the Voice of Victory. Please let me take the Voice of Victory. Oh my god. All right, sure. Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm just land screwed. Oh, they just had Mox Opal off the top. I guess it wouldn't have been any good to me anyway. Yeah, there's no way on earth I recover from this. Okay. I need to draw lands. Not that land. I need to draw not that land. I really needed to draw not that land. Oh my god. Yeah, this is going to be a loss. There's just no way around it. They kept in Thraben Charm specifically for Urza Saga. Well, that's the consequence of playing Urza Saga in your deck, right? Yeah, just give me a 1-mana Black Wrath that kills this entire board, please. Surely there's a black spell that can just... Yeah, Portable Hole, look at that. I can actually play Glimmer Void. I can cast Portable Hole off of the Glimmer Void. I can cast Portable... There we go, okay. And then I can boop their treasure token. And then I can concede. Getting completely steamrolled today. Very different from yesterday where we were the ones doing the steamrolling. Just wild. Let's go ahead and move on to round 5. So I will have y'all know that Mama did in fact raise a quitter, but I disagreed. So we are going to be playing out our 5th round, even though there's literally nothing to be gained from this. I am on the draw in round 5 versus LuckSound. This hand has discard, it has bridge, it has saga. It should be a keep. The mana is a little bit sketchy with this Glimmer Void here. I think it's fine. And that is a weird-ass stopping ground, my dudes. What on earth is that? Edge of Eternities, huh? Okay, well now I have options. I could put Glimmer Void into play and trust that Mishra's Bauble will hold the fort down. Or I could just fetch Shock. Talisman of Impulse, huh? Yeah, they're on some shenanigans. I did restart my client, so it's going much faster now, if you can tell. Malevolent Rumble off the top. And they are playing Breach. They chose a Utopia Sprawl. I do still know their entire hand here. Can they kick Sowing Mycospawn next turn? They can, in fact, kick Sowing Mycospawn if they want to. Let's give them a nice, juicy target for that. There's a Talisman on top of their deck. That's fine, I think. They are going to Ugin's Labyrinth. They're tucking Emrakul underneath of that. And I think they're kicking Sowing Mycospawn here. Turn 3, that's impressive. They're going to search their deck for a land. Kozilek's Command, huh? Yeah, glad that that's on top of your deck now instead of later, because I'm taking that. I think Through the Breach is actually... Oh, it's not fine, because they have Emrakul. I'm going to draw the cookbook anyway. Okay, and now let's see what happens. They have a Utopia Sprawl in hand, and they also have Talisman of Impulse in hand. If they returned Emrakul to hand using this Ugin's Labyrinth, they would have 1, 2, 3 mana, which is notably not 5. Utopia Sprawl could not increase the amount of mana that they have this turn. I'm going to let them draw it. I'm going to take this hit. That's fine. And yeah, they're playing Talisman of Impulse now. Are they going to be a Dear Lass and fetch? No, they are not. They're setting up for next turn. I think I'm just going to draw this Urza Saga, and I'm going to play it. And then I'm going to cast my Ensnaring Bridge, and then I'm going to pass turn. Sowing Mycospawn is in their hand now. They can exile another one of my Urza Sagas if they want to. Looks like that's what they're going for. Okay, that's fine. Just Windswept Heath. They don't have a Sanctum of Ugin or anything like that, huh? I'm going to exile that Kozilek's Command. These Whir of Inventions can sit in my hand for a little bit. I don't need them to be castable right now. This bridge is low enough to where it's stopping the Sowing Mycospawns. See? I got to 3 blue mana eventually. It's fine. They are taking out my blue land here. That's okay. I'll just float blue. Searching their deck for a land. They found an Eldrazi Temple. You know, I'm not even going to cast Whir right now. They don't have a live card on top of their deck, and I want the island on top of mine, actually. No need to rush it. They're starting to burn through their banked fetch lands. Okay, yeah, I'll take that Yggdrasil. Misty Rainforest is fine. And now I will begin casting Whirs. Grab another Pyxis. Fire of Industry is down. All right, this game is pretty much wrapped up at this point. I'm just going to stop tracking their hand. It doesn't matter anymore. They have 2 through the breaches. That's all that I really care about. Grab Pyxis number 3. And I think I actually will start exiling stuff. Emrakul can go. Emrakul can go again. Kozilek's Command can go. Mox Opal's fine. I'm going to hold that. Devourer of Destiny is okay. I think they have 2 of those in hand, actually. Actually, I kind of want the Thoughtseize. I'm going to start burning through their breaches so they can't breach Emrakul and then sacrifice it. Shuffle their 9 cards in their graveyard back in. That would be mildly annoying for me to deal with. Keeping their Ulamogs in their deck. Okay. Found a Profane Tutor. I'm going to suspend it. I don't need to cast Instant Snaring Bridge. I'm not going to. I will cast it now. And that Welding Jar can go too. Kinda want this Codex Shredder as insurance. That's fine. I'll find it eventually again, right? Thoughtseize. Speaking of finding it again eventually. All right, through the breach is gone. So now I don't actually need to worry about that. That's not a potential out that they could have. And yeah, their hand's irrelevant. It just doesn't matter anymore. Although they have 7 cards in hand. So if they wanted to at any point, they could start to put that Emrakul back into hand. I think I'm going to cast one of these Mox Opals. Perilous Snare. I do have a Pithing Needle, but I also have Whir of Invention for Pithing Needle, and I think I will do that instead. And they're just F6'd. I'm going to do this now. All right, Pithing Needle. Going to put that on Uggin's Labyrinth. I feel like I might have been able to get around that if I had to, but I just don't have to, so it doesn't matter. All right, let's begin exiling in earnest now. Very good. Client is significantly more responsive. This is very nice. And I actually don't know if this is relevant or not. I'm gonna take it just in case it is. Yeah, okay. And that's their last card draw for the game. There's my Codex Shredder. Goodbye, Codex Shredder. Okay, and we now all will have empty libraries, except my opponent has to draw first. Beautiful. Love getting wins like that. Nice and clean. Okay, now on to post-sideboarding. My opponent is playing red-green through the breach Eldrazi nonsense. Inquisition of Kozilek, not going to be particularly helpful here, I think. I think Duress will be more helpful than that. Perilous Snare is something that I could whir for in an emergency situation. It even will stop an Emrakul in its tracks if I whir for it, so I think I will keep it in for that reason. Pithing Needle, I think I might go down 1 Pithing Needle. Cookbook is not useful. Page is not useful. What do I want to bring in? Maybe I should actually go up to 2 Pithing Needles because they have an Yggdrasil as well. I could side out a Mishra's Bauble and bring in 3 trophies. Seems relatively responsible. Stonebrain would be fine, I guess, but it doesn't take care of everything. It's a 1-lander. I can't keep this. It's a 1-lander. I can keep this, but I can be very salty about it. I'm going to keep this bottom, probably the Perilous Snare. It's a Utopia Sprawl. They chose red. I will shock in this Watery Grave and Duress them. Maybe they just have the combo in hand. Oh, they just... Okay, sure. Yeah, that's a keep, I guess. Turbo out and Emrakul. Maybe they're hoping that they will draw a relevant thing here. I'm just going to play out my hand. Now, the question is... Do I want to pop baubles targeting them? I don't know. Ulamog the Defiler is in their graveyard. So they have 3 cards in hand. They have Emrakul, Stomping Ground, and Unknown. They just binned something. If they draw a Through the Breach right now, that would be pretty terrible. But that's also a very small number of draws. I think I'm just going to let them have it. Talisman of Impulse, sure, you got it. Stomping Ground down, sure, you got it. Spire of Industry is on top of my deck. I don't feel like I just need a generic land, you know? I'm going to be drawing 3 cards here. I feel like I'm going to be finding a land in those 3 cards anyway, right? Okay, drawing a card, Urza Saga, Lantern of Insight, Mox Opal. All right, that was a beautiful set of draws. I loved that. Mox Opal, Urza Saga. That is an Ulamog the Defiler. I think I'm okay with that. And they just have nothing. All right, I'm going to beat them to death with constructs then. I think here I actually will grab another Mox Opal so that I can hold open Assassin's Trophy if I really need to. Like, they're dead next turn anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they could have breached last turn if they really wanted to. Okay. That was in their hand, and now it's not. Yeah. Welding Jar, I guess. Play out third Pyxis and swing for lethal. Does this work? It does work. Okay, so we got one, finally. It only took all day to get a single match. Oh, it just took all day, didn't it? All right, let's go ahead and wrap up. I got beat to hell today. That was a wild league. We got kind of close in a lot of situations and didn't really convert in basically all of them. And then the 5th round was just a lol curb stomp, I guess. Oh boy. We saw a little bit of the weaknesses of Glimmervoid in this league. I don't know if it was actually relevant. Like, you could point to a couple of places and say, oh yeah, well, you had Glimmervoid and all your stuff got wiped and you lost your land. That being said, that was what, my 2nd Wrath that I had survived, and the Glimmervoid losing that, it could have been relevant and could have not been relevant, but you know, they had a 3rd Wrath. Just, that's what happens when you don't get a lock. I wonder if there needs to be a change of strategy in order to approach Blink decks. Blink decks just seem so gosh damn difficult to handle, even with the Torpor Orbs on the side, consistently today. +1 on the first game, and then the other 2 games just completely losing in the sideboard matchups because they have all that different type of hate. So maybe you could go full turtle and you could play something like, oh dear God, I don't know, like Padim plus Darksteel Forge. Let's even see if we can pull up those cards so I can show you what you mean. Padim, Console of Innovation. Artifacts you control have hexproof, and it draws a card for you if you control the highest mana value for an artifact. I played this quite a bit when it was, you know, first printed a long time ago, all the way back in original Kaladesh, actually. That was the block that it was first printed in. And it was okay. There was a lot of targeted removal, not a lot of stuff that hit both artifacts and creatures at the same time. I feel like these days, this would just eat... I guess Prismatic Ending would be a bit difficult to cast on this, wouldn't it? 4 mana value. Okay, maybe it's got some legs then. Against Esper Blink, though, it's just going to eat a Solitude, right? So what's your plan? You are going to play Ensnaring Bridge. You're going to play Torpor Orb. And those 2 things are already hard enough to keep in play all at the same time. Then you're going to do what? Cast Padim. And once you cast Padim, she's still vulnerable to, say, a Wrath of the Skies. So now you need something else to take care of that. And yeah, Yuki, she's still vulnerable to Fatal Push. Just, as we saw, something that the Esper Blink players can reasonably keep in for some insane reason. They just have all of the slots that they need for that. And then you would need something that makes your artifacts indestructible. Something like Darksteel Forge. Artifacts you control have indestructible. Fantastic. That does the thing. It cost 9 mana. Why does this cost 9 mana? I don't know. It's very expensive. I do not want to be worrying for a 9 mana artifact. It's just insane. And even if you do that, so you get Ensnaring Bridge down, you get Torpor Orb down, you get Darksteel Forge down, right? And then they just Prismatic Ending your Ensnaring Bridge. Or they cast Clarion Conqueror and then they, you know, use Quantum Riddler to rip through their deck and they find whatever out that they have. It's just very difficult to answer all of their outs. It's possible that the answer to that is to go up on the Lantern Lock, actually. To rely on having just an insanely high number of mill rocks. And to that end, maybe, just maybe, you would want something like this. Mechanized Production. I played this a long time ago. I loved this card. This is a pet card of mine. It's great. You just make copies of everything until you win. So you could make copies of Ensnaring Bridges, and maybe while the game is completely locked up, they're trying to draw out to their Wrath of the Skies outs. You just, make 5 Ensnaring Bridges, and then you cry when they all get wiped up by a Wrath of the Skies. It would make you less vulnerable to things like Prismatic Ending, things like Witch Enchanter, because if you're making copies, then now really their only out is exactly Wrath of the Skies, actually. And if they don't find their out in time, you win the game. Maybe it's worth trying. Maybe I'll play it in a league just for funsies, just to have something that's really interesting and cool in the deck. I don't think it's any good, but, I like the card. Maybe the deck needs some workshopping, huh? Just maybe. I don't know. I still had a good time today, so I'm gonna keep trying at it, and we'll see what shakes out of it tomorrow, or next week, or whenever I release my next video.
This program is made possible by your view, like, and comment, the support of my wife and son, and by contributions to the Fateseal MTG Patreon from viewers like you. Thank you.
On the bait will be